Yo, what is up, Seahawks Nation? I'm Victor, and man, I got two things on my mind today, and I cannot wait to break them down with you. First, rookie minicamp just wrapped up, and listen, our first-round pick, our guy is already turning heads. Like, we just won the Super Bowl. We lost our starting RB to Kansas City, our Super Bowl MVP, by the way, and people are already nervous about the backfield. I get it, but from what came out of camp this weekend, there might be less to worry about than you think. Might be. But here's the thing, and this is what's keeping me up at night. While we're hyped about the new blood coming in, there's a very real chance we're about to lose another one of our own guys on the way out. A fan-favorite edge rusher, a guy who's been balling for this defense. And brother, his contract situation is getting scary. We already watched our RB walk, our starting safety, gone, one of our pass rushers, gone, and now this guy could be next in line to cash out somewhere else while we're just watching. These two stories, they're connected because this team is at a crossroads right now, building the future while trying to hold on to the present. So stick with me because we're getting into all of it. And real quick, if you're not subscribed yet, we are grinding toward 4,000 subscribers on this channel. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video. It literally takes 2 seconds and it means everything to this channel. Let's build this community together, 12s. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's talk about this rookie minicamp. Because honestly, I came in with some questions and I'm leaving with a lot more confidence than I expected. So here's the situation. We just won the Super Bowl. Kenneth Walker, our guy, our MVP, is gone. He took his talents to Kansas City, and look, I get it, that's business, but it still stings. So when the Seahawks drafted Jadarian Price in the first round on April 23rd, every single one of us in Seahawks Nation had the same thought. Okay, can this kid actually do what Walker did for us? And after this rookie minicamp, I'm not saying the question is fully answered, but I'm feeling a lot better. Price was out there catching passes, running routes, working through drills, and Coach Hammock, the new running backs coach, was right there with him the whole time. And that matters, because the one thing that had people a little nervous about Price coming out of Notre Dame wasn't his speed, wasn't his power. The kid averaged over 6 yards per carry, had 21 rushing touchdowns, and was literally the best kickoff returner in the entire country. That part, not worried about that at all. The concern was the hands. He only caught 15 passes in 3 seasons at Notre Dame. 15. And he fumbled 3 times in his last 2 years. Not a ton, but in the NFL, coaches notice everything. McDonald noticed. Hammock noticed. But here's what I love. Price noticed too. When he got drafted, one of the first things he said publicly was that his goal was to become a better receiver and a better pass blocker. That's a rookie who gets it. That's a guy who knows what he needs to work on and is not running from it. And McDonald, when asked about Price at camp, he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that he did a good job and that the passing game is definitely part of what they want to do with him. Coming from McDonald, who doesn't just hand out compliments for free, that means something to me. Now look, Price wasn't even running full contact drills. McDonald made it clear they're being careful with him in this first minicamp, just keeping him away from any unnecessary physical situations. So we didn't see everything, but what we did see, encouraging, really encouraging. And Price isn't the only interesting piece that came out of this camp. The Seahawks brought in 68 players total, 68, and 53 of those were tryout guys just trying to earn a contract. That's McDonald doing what McDonald does. He calls it the 120 idea, basically keeping a pool of about 50 players beyond the active roster and practice squad that the team can call on at any moment during the season. Smart. Championship level smart. They also got a look at Bo Stevens, the All-American guard out of Iowa they traded up to grab in the 5th round. The offensive line depth is real. And there's even a 6'5" cornerback project named Tyrone Broden, who McDonald is genuinely excited about, which, if that works out, would literally be the tallest corner in NFL history. Wild. But the star of the weekend? Price. No question. The kid showed up, worked hard, caught the ball, and made an impression on his coaches in day one. For a fan base that was a little heartbroken watching Walker leave, that's exactly what we needed to see.
So yeah, the future of this backfield, I'm not panicking anymore. I'm watching, I'm interested, and I'm excited. But here's the thing, Seahawks Nation. While we're out here getting hyped about the new faces coming into this roster, there's a storm quietly brewing on the other side. Because there's a player, a fan favorite, a guy who has been making plays for this defense, whose future in Seattle is seriously in question. His contract situation is getting to a point where we might be having a very uncomfortable conversation very soon. And trust me, you do not want to miss this one.
Okay, so I need you to stay with me on this one because this story right here is the one that's been living rent-free in my head ever since I read it. And if you're a real Seahawks fan, it's gonna hit you the same way. But real quick, before we get into it, if you're not subscribed yet, we are chasing 4,000 subscribers on this channel, and we are so close. Hit that subscribe button right now, drop a like on this video, it costs you nothing, and it means everything to this community. Okay, now let's talk about Derrick Hall. So here's where we are. This offseason alone, we already watched Kenneth Walker walk out the door to Kansas City. We lost Kobe Bryant. We lost Boye Mafe. 3 young players that this organization drafted, developed, and then watched leave for bigger money somewhere else. And look, I understand it. That's the NFL. That's how it works. But it doesn't make it any easier to watch, especially when you're the reigning Super Bowl champions and you feel like this core should be staying together. And now we're sitting here looking at Derrick Hall's contract situation, and I'm getting that same feeling again, that tight feeling in your chest, like, oh no, here we go again. Here's what you need to understand about Hall. This is not just some depth piece we're talking about. This is a guy who had a genuine breakout year in 2024. 8 sacks, 20 quarterback hits across all 17 games, 14 starts. That is a player who was making quarterbacks uncomfortable every single week. And yeah, this past season, his sack numbers dipped to 2, but he still had 13 quarterback hits. 13! You know who also had 2 sacks this past season? Boye Mafe. And Mafe only had 4 quarterback hits. Hall was twice as disruptive and still didn't get the same attention. That tells you something. And here's the part that really gets me. Hall is the youngest of all the defensive players on expiring deals right now. Uchenna Nwosu, Leonard Williams, Dante Fowler Jr., they're all in the same boat, either in their final year or on a 1-year deal. But Hall is the one with the most upside. He's the one who has shown he can be a full-time starter on this defense. He's the one the fans love, and he's the one most likely to get absolutely overpaid by some desperate team next offseason. And when I say overpaid, I mean look at these numbers. The New York Jets are projected to have $155 million in cap space in 2027. The Arizona Cardinals, $148 million. The Miami Dolphins, $145 million. These are teams that need players. They have the money, and they will not hesitate to throw a massive contract at a young pass rusher who's still getting better. Seattle simply cannot compete with those numbers if it gets to open market free agency. It's not even close. So what are the options? The way I see it, there are really 2 paths. 1, the Seahawks get ahead of this right now. They sit down with Hall, they promise him a bigger role this season, and they work out an extension before he even hits free agency. Players take less money when they feel valued and when they know what their future looks like. If Seattle makes that conversation happen early, there's a real shot Hall takes a hometown discount to stay. 2, the front office waits. The season plays out, Hall balls out again, and then Seattle has to outbid the entire league for their own guy. And at that point, it's going to cost way more than it would today. And here's the thing that makes me the most nervous about all of this. The pass rush depth behind Hall is not deep. DeMarcus Lawrence is even thinking about retirement. If Hall leaves and Lawrence is gone, where exactly is the pressure coming from on this defense? That's not a small problem. That's a championship-level concern. Look, I still believe in John Schneider and Mike McDonald. They found a way to replace Walker. They found a way to keep this team competitive through every roster move this offseason. But Hall is different. Hall has starter potential, Hall is a fan favorite, and Hall is young enough that whoever gets him is going to have him for a long time. This is the moment where the front office has to decide. Are we serious about keeping this window open, or are we okay just watching another one walk? Now let me bring this all the way home for you,
because when you put today's two stories together, what you really see is a picture of a team standing at a crossroads. On one side, you've got Jadarian Price showing up at rookie minicamp, catching passes, working with his coaches, and giving us every reason to believe the future of this offense is in good hands. The new blood is coming in and it looks promising. But on the other side, you've got Derrick Hall, a guy who is the present, who is part of what makes this defense dangerous right now, potentially walking right out that door just as that new generation is walking in. That's the real tension of being a Seahawks fan in 2026. We are building and bleeding at the same time. And how this front office handles the Hall situation in the next few months, that's going to tell us everything about what kind of dynasty this really is. I'm hopeful, but I'm watching closely. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you, for real. That means everything. Don't forget to subscribe. We are grinding toward 4,000 subscribers on Seahawks Nation Update, and every single one of you counts. Drop a like, leave a comment below. Do you think the Seahawks are going to keep Derrick Hall, or is he gone after this season? Let me know. I read every single one. I'm Victor, this is Seahawks Nation Update, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Hawks.